Okay, just keep doing that. I'm getting that on. I just want to get a video of before.
Paul, we're going to take a look at your chipping technique before we started making some adjustments. Here's your setup. And you had a tendency when you did not chip well to either chili dip it where the ball only goes a few feet or to skull the ball across the green. Both of those are caused by the same thing in that when you hit the ball, this one here, you blade the ball, you're going to see right there how the bottom edge of the club hit the back of the ball. And so the lofted face of the club, the lofted face of the club is pointing upward, and had you hit the ball with the face of the club, it would go up in the air. But because you hit it with the bottom edge, it basically just went on the ground. That's because the direction of your hit into the ball was too level. When you hit chip shots, you need to hit it a little bit more on the downside, and that's what gets the face of the club under the ball so that the ball will then go up. Second thing I want to focus on is as soon as you hit the ball, you basically freeze the club head. And what you want to learn to do is to swing the entire club. You want to swing the club head, but you also want to swing the handle. On the right is Jim Furyk, just hitting a little chip shot similar to you. The first thing you notice is that his feet are very close together. This allows him to set up with a little bit more weight on his front foot than his back foot. You can see how Furyk has more weight on his left foot than his right foot. I've drawn two blue arrows from the center of both feet, and you can see that he's almost leaning against a wall with his left shoulder here. And what that does, when you move your weight to the left, it puts the low point of your swing in front of the golf ball. You also notice that his shaft is angled and tilted and leaning towards the target. Now yours is as well. You have a nice setup in terms of the shaft, but I just need to get you to have a little bit more weight. If I drew a straight line up from your left foot, you can see that the majority of all your weight is behind the foot, whereas Jim is putting a lot more weight on that foot. That allows him then to hit down into the golf ball instead of level. So he's going to hit the ball and then the ground. Second thing I want to point out in the way Jim moves is that he will swing this club with his body. You can see how this club at the end of the swing is pointing right at his sternum, his belly button. He swings the handle of the club well past his legs. So he's not just swinging and flipping the putter head. He's swinging everything, and he swings it with his body. It's a body swing. So his arms are quiet. He just rocks his shoulders. He's not flipping the club. Swings the entire club. You can see how his knees move a little bit. His right hip moves a little bit. He's just turning. He even turns his head. Watch that, his hat, how it moves in line with the club. So that's a simple technique of just locking everything in and just pivoting your body, and the club becomes almost part of the arms. It's like they're all one piece. So he's hitting this ball with this triangle that he set up at the beginning, and he maintains that triangle all the way through. This is Luke Donald. Again, you're going to see how his feet are close together. He moves the hands and arms. He turns his body. This is Tiger Woods, feet close together. You can see how he's really leaning to the left. He swings everything in one piece. The handle goes past his leg. He stays on that left side. Now on the left, you can see how you looks more like the pros. You have a pro setup. Your feet are close together. You're leaning. You have more weight on your left foot. Hands in front of the golf ball. This is going to promote that downward hit. And that's the objective of these changes. You swing down in order to get the loft of the face of the club under the ball. So that's a much improved setup. You just want to continue practicing that with that setup. Now this here is one of your practice swings where I had you trying to swing the handle past the left leg. And look at that. Very good. So you want to make that same movement through the golf ball. So you want to swing the club. You're not just hitting a ball. Now we're going to look at the chip on a golf ball. And even though you didn't follow through as much as you did on the practice swing, there's a little difference in how they look. The essential technique of hitting down was accomplished. And so you're going to see this ball go up in the air right there. Now you kind of stopped your hands right here. You can see how the back of that left wrist is kind of buckling. You didn't really swing the handle as much. It kind of got, we call that cupping the wrist. But it was so much improved over what you were doing. That's why this ball got up in the air right there. Now this one was even better. It was really well done. You hit it on the downside. Your hands went further through. Ball got up nice and high. That's a very good chip action right there. Now on these chip and pitch swings, we moved down to the bottom of the hill, and I introduced the wrist hinge. When you get a little bit further away, and you need to hit the ball just a little bit further, you need to hinge the wrist. The other chip shots were more of an arm swing, almost a putting stroke. But now you're going to see how these wrists hinge, and you're almost chopping down, and you can see that ball is already right here. As you chop down, you got the face under the golf ball, and the ball then goes up. And then your hands continue through, you turned your body, you're facing the target. So that's the other technique of adding the hinge to it. And when the ball's in that little higher grass, you'll use a little bit more loft in the club, more of the sand wedge loft. When you're on the tightly mown grass, the fringe or the fairway cut, then you can also use the sand wedge when appropriate. But it certainly allows you to use other clubs as well. In fact, I introduced the idea of using your hybrid sometimes instead of the putter. Certainly use the putter when you're really close to the edge of the green, but as you get further away, you might experiment a little bit with using the hybrid and using the putting stroke. Now, there's only one way to get better at these shots, and that's practice. Watching the video helps you get started. Seeing the difference before and after, and watching the pros' technique, and all of that's important. But you've got to actually do these techniques until you become comfortable with them. So what I would recommend certainly is to, every time you come out to play, now maybe it's going to be difficult to do this on Tuesdays because there's so little time before you all tee off, but other times that you come out and play, if you could come just a few minutes early and throw down 5 or 6 balls and practice these techniques, and you're practicing the movements, and don't let your attention focus so much on seeing what the ball did. You've got to actually put your attention on moving your hands through, swinging down, feet close together, practicing the technique, and you'll randomly hit good shots and bad shots, but you don't want to randomly do the technique. Try to do the technique every time.
So I really want you to swing your chest to the ball. That's better. Keep doing that practice swing. That's beautiful right there. So just try to copy the, make it look just like that. That was really nice, Paul. That's a chop and stop.
I stopped.
So you got to go through, sweep through. Swings on over to your hand. There you go. That one got through. Oh, Paul, that's excellent. Oh, look at that. First series of balls will have some good and some bad, more bad than good, and more practice, the more good than bad. There's the one. That's a beautiful shot there. That one you got under. You chop down in order to get the face of the club hitting the bottom of the ball, not the back of the ball. Very nice.